Hi there, this is Kathy Crow at the Crow Cottage in Springfield, Missouri. This is take 3. I have to check really quick to see if this is going properly, because what's happening is I have a new system that's functioning, I thought, but then every time I go to start my video, it won't do the portrait. On Facebook, I don't know what its deal is. It's like it's not liking me right now. I don't know why, but it just definitely is not. So please be patient. If you see me, that's wonderful. If I'm not in portrait mode, that would be wonderful, because what's happening is it's refusing to turn it. Ah, it's on the right way. Fabulous. Okay. Wow, that was very complicated. Now today, let me get the sound off because I don't want you to have to listen to me double. You're seeing things crooked and back behind me and all that, but that's okay. You will see the important stuff here in a minute. I'm kind of hot and sweaty now. I've been jumping around trying to get this going. We are doing Fragrant Layers today. This is a wonderful new bundle that is in the Stampin' Up website. It is a 10% discount if you buy the bundle, and you will want the bundle because it has wonderful dies. That's why I'm showing it, but I also am showing you this really fun fold. Now this is a little fun fold that stays flat in your envelope. It's easy to do, but it's a little step card. Isn't it cute? You can do all kinds of things with these. But I just wanted to give you the dimensions for this. I made this one a little bit bigger than some people are doing their step folds. So I think you'll like it. That way I could fit more in. Because this die is really large, and I wanted to make sure I got the window part of the die showing for you, because this is the reason I bought this bundle. But then after I worked with it, I thought, wow, these flowers that emboss and cut all in one go, they're wonderful. And then other things, so I just really enjoyed working with it. So you'll like this. Now today Stampin' Up has got they have got their hot foil machine going. You definitely want to go buy that while supplies last, you know. Dies and things like that, you know. I don't, when they go out, it might be a while coming back in. So this is the time to get it. It's a super easy machine, and I'll talk to you about it as we go. Now, to try to get this down might be tricky, because I think that has been what's been the problem. Let's see what happens. I'm flipping it, and I'm gonna check it and see, and we will find out if if it liked it or not. I don't know. I can't really tell because it always looks fine when I look at it, but oh, look at you. I think it actually went. Now this is going to take me just a minute to make sure that I have everything in the frame. Things are kind of slow in the computer transfer world, and I do want it to be upright. So let's see what you can see here in just a minute. Okay, now I can see that you can't see everything I need you to, so I'm gonna have to extend this arm a bit, so that will maybe work a bit better. We'll tip it so that you're not quite so crooked, hopefully. Okay, so Fragrant Layers, I put it in with my Thankful Garden things. That stamp set is not available anymore, but I really liked that one. It was super cute. And, oh, I thought I adjusted it, and I actually adjusted it the wrong way, I think. Let's check out the dies. Oh, look at you. I love these. They're so pretty. So this is the piece that I used for this overlay, just in white, and then I colored it a little. I did the centers separate, but I really wanted you to see this because it's so pretty. And let me move you back again a bit. I think I'm showing everything a little backwards, but maybe not. It just looks Backwards. Yeah, this is backwards. Okay, so I'm gonna have to fix that on another video, but I'm not gonna worry about it this time. You'll be fine. It's so weird. I keep thinking I've got everything and then I don't. This die is what I used to cut this out, and I used this looks like sea foam or something. I think it's actually Balmy Blue and Misty Moonlight. I like to use my old cardstock, so sometimes those old colors aren't so bad, and I do use them. So anyway, just a heads up. I'll let you know if I do. I just used a pen and lightly colored those. It's so pretty, and they give you this extra bloom too, so you can add it in. This is the die that cuts these fatter ones out, and I cut it one time and then cut them apart so I could layer this. And then the little hello word is in here. I knew I just used these things, but the this little piece does this, and then this is actually a little frame. And what I'm gonna do with this today, I was thinking, oh, I should just use that hot foil, because hot foil is so easy to do, but I went ahead and just cut out and layered cardstock that I'm gonna glue this piece, because this is gold. I think this looks like that textured gold cardstock that I had on hand, and this is what this cuts out. It's really nice. It does give you the center also, but you know, I can't really stamp on that, so that's why I just used other dies that I had to cut out this white bit, and I'm going to glue this on today and then just trim it. The little holes are perfect for putting those little brads or something on. I don't know. We'll think about it. Now for this card, I'm going to show you the dimensions, and tell you what they are. But we're going to start with petaled pink, and I'm starting with it 6 1/4 across and 9 3/8 inches long. That's what this is all together, 6 1/4 by 9 3/8. But it's a little tricky cutting all of this, so stay with me, okay, while we get going on it. But I'm going to put that aside for now, because I just wanted to talk to you a second also about this shimmer paper that we have. Can you see this? I can't believe how beautiful this shimmer paper is. It's a cardstock, and it's absolutely fabulous. When I put it on, I hadn't used it until I used it on this, and then that's what made me think, I think we're going to go with just doing the stamped picture, and I already colored them and everything, so we're ready to do it, because it's going to take a while just to do the fancy fold. So that's kind of what I'm going to spend the most time on, but I really wanted you to see how you just stamp this, and when you cut it out, it gives you all of this fabulous detail. I don't know if you can see how it's pressed into it, but maybe in my newsletter, if you take one of those pictures and make it larger, you can see. Now this one I did not do the embossed part. I just cut out the images. So you can do it either way. This die is gonna cut out, no, wait, where are you? Where's the die that cuts out? Oh, this does cut it out, but it does emboss it too. I must have fussy cut this one to get, no, I didn't. Let me look at this. Yes, I did. So I fussy cut this one just to see, but after I used the die that embosses it, I realized, why would you do that? You don't need to fussy cut. Cuts it out perfect, and it actually also gives you this detail. So I'm not sure what my brain was thinking when I did that. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder about myself. You know, are you really all there? Because it is not this one either, so I don't know what I was thinking. These are, I believe, the centers. At least that's how I used these. There's 2 of them. So that is useful because actually when you use the dies, either one of these dies, it actually cuts out the center. And I'd already colored them, and I wanted those right back in. But they don't stay in very easily unless you're just gluing it flat down on your card, like I kind of did with this. This one I put little mini dimensionals under, but you can see it kind of, they have to be really cut in half. Those minis didn't work all that great. So I decided to go ahead and cut these centers with those dies and then use that as the backing to glue these right back into place. So that's what I did. These were stamped with, let's see, because you get, with your set, you get your outline in black there, but you get your fill color here. So I didn't use my inks at all. I just used, my blending pens, I just used the stamp pads. And I stamped this one with Petal Pink, and then I stamped off a bunch with Calypso Coral. And then just did straight Calypso Coral for just these parts, because you get them in here. It has so many different little ways of stamping the color that you can get a really detailed color going with these. Okay, let me see if you can see these very well. This is going to be a little experiment, because before, when I brought my camera up, my objects up to my camera like this, the light was too dark because it was being blocked from the side. So I'm kind of doing this to see whether I can see it. And yes, you can. That's awesome. Okay, it took me a long time because of the delay, so sorry about that, but I'm in experimental mode here. So you have a separate stamp for the single one that you can cut out. You have the grouping color, okay? And then you get all the little centers too, as just in the little dotted center. It's like sweet. If you're not a colorer, this is a great savings because you get the same deal with the leaves. You get each little leaf so you can block in whatever color you want. And with your ink pads, if you use the stamped off method, you can get a wonderful color without using blending pens. You just stamp with something very light first and then stamp off a lot to get whatever colors on top that you want, so that I could get exactly what I wanted. I didn't even use crisp cantaloupe, and I do think crisp cantaloupe would have probably turned out similar if I had done that, but I didn't. This is actually Petal Pink. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this. And let me see now, because my screen is backwards, I'm resting my hand here because I am not 100% sure what we're seeing. Okay, so this side you're not seeing at all, and the other side you're seeing too much. Let's see if that centers it better. All right, I'm gonna get these things out of the way, and then we're gonna cut this simple fold. I don't want to lose any of my little doodads though, and there's enough complication to it all. I'm gonna be probably flopping around with stuff. Let me get these in a safe spot so I don't lose any of those little parts that I've already gone to the trouble of getting together. Every time I adjust it, it never goes quite exactly the way I wanted it. All right, so get your whole sheet of cardstock, whatever color you want. I decided I wanted to use a lighter card this time, or I guess I did it that way on both. I wanted the background to be light and then be able to build with dark coming up. And the only problem I'm seeing with this is this is like majorly tipped, so let's hope that that helped a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and cut on my line, not on my lines, because those aren't, I just wrote out the, I wrote it out. Oh, my cord is dinking around here. And now it's all wonked now that I did that. So let me back it out a bit here and see how that looks. So now I'm going to go 6 1/4 across here, but I want 9 3/8 for this cut. So 9 3/8. 1. Oh man, I can't see here. 1, 2, 3. There it is. 9 3/8. Right there. Okay, and then 6 1/4. 6 1/4 is right there. Okay, you're still a bit more that way than I want. Edge over just a little bit more. And now I'm just using this board for the whole thing, and I see I've got a little spot, so I'm gonna, oh, that's right, I marked this because you kind of need to know. Wow, it's still kind of like not, this is interesting the way this is working here. All right, what you want to do is, you can fold it either way, so it doesn't really matter which side is which, but you just need to make sure that every time you do these cuts that you are getting it, you're cutting it from the same side. So what I'm saying is, if you turn your cardstock, you got to make sure you're not cutting too far, or you know, you got to make sure which side you're cutting. Is it this side or this side? Because it's different. So anyway, I don't know if any of that made sense, but hopefully it will as you go. So first of all, what we want to do is we're not gonna do these fold lines. They're different. This line is not quite the same as this one. So let me get this down so I can see. Make sure I've got it going the correct way. Oh, I think I have it backwards here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so here's my front. So what we're gonna do first of all is we're gonna cut this line right here. And that's why I have these marked, because I'm gonna go straight down, but I need to do it where these folds are. That's where it's gonna end. So I need to measure this line first, right here, okay? And that one, I have marked, but we're gonna measure it from here. So it goes 1 inch on the bottom. On this side, it's gonna be 1 inch. So you're gonna start on your line, on your 1 inch line, and then you're gonna go all the way to your 7 1/4 line. Okay, and we're also going to go from this side over, we're gonna measure 3 3/8. Okay, so make sure you've measured 3 3/8, and that's why I have a mark here. That should show me 3 3/8. Let's see if it does. 1, 2, 3. Here's my 3/8. It doesn't. Maybe it does from this side. I probably have it upside down. 3 3/8. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's still not quite the same. Isn't that funny? Because it should be 3 3/8. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if it's correct. I'm just making sure because I marked it so I would see that. Yes, that's right. So I flipped it, and that's why. So I'm going to go ahead and start, but I'm going to ignore my marks, and I'm going to go 3 3/8 over here. 1, 2, 3. So 3 3/8. You've moved over, and then we're going to start at the 1 inch line. So just take your cutting blade and find 1 inch from this edge. And start your blade there. I need to make sure I'm actually using 1 inch, because I have mine written in here on this side. And then we're gonna go down to 7 1/4. Okay, 7 1/4. And so now you've got this cut. And since this is gonna be on the inside, but just in case it isn't, I'm gonna use my eraser to get rid of that. In case I decide I don't want that showing. Okay, did I get it all the way to the 1 inch? I don't know if I did. It doesn't really look like it is. I'm gonna measure it here. 1 inch. Yes, I did. So my mark is just not right. And I was just doing the line just so that I made sure I did it right. All right, so this is our front. This is 3 3/8 in this way. And then this started at 1 inch and we went to 7 1/4 of an inch. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn this. That was the only cut we're making. We're gonna do the fold on this side first. And this is 4 3/4 on that side. And when you score it, stop at your cut line. And if it's hard for you to see that cut line, get your score tool in position so you can see it, okay? So we're just gonna score across the fat side there. And now we're gonna turn it and we're gonna do these folds, okay? Now the fold that's gonna go in the back is bigger than the fold in the front. So make sure you're getting it where you want it, okay? So we're gonna start on this side. And all of your folds are gonna be just on this skinnier side of the cut, okay? So we're gonna start right here, and I'm gonna put it at 1 inch. Well, let's do it this way so you can see it better. So I'm starting at 1 inch, and the score tool is gonna stop right on this cut line. Okay, so just go all the way to where you can see your cut line and just score. We're on this side of the fold we already made. That's my 1 inch score. Now we're gonna go to 2 inches. Okay, let's see if I got it exactly right. 2 inches. Now we're gonna go 3 1/2 inches. Okay, so again, I'm just bringing my score tool up to where I can see the cut that I've made. And then 5 inches. And 5 inches is off of where that other fold was that you've made. And now 7 1/4. And that should be right at the end of where you cut it already. Okay, so now we have all of those folds done. Let's see if it works. So my cut line looks crooked. I don't know why it is, but we're gonna live with it anyway. So both of these are mountain folds right here at the top. This is on the bottom. This one's is this one a mountain fold, or is it I think that's a mountain fold, yes. And then that one's a valley fold. And then this one's a mountain fold, and that one's a valley fold. And once you get those all done, it should have been perfect, and it's not coming out quite perfect. Let's see why. I must have one fold off slightly. You know what I'm gonna do, since that's the case? It should be even up here, and it's not. I'm not sure why. It's just off a hair on this one. So what I'm gonna do is rescore that one just by 1/8 of an inch. Just 1/8. That one feels like it's off just that much. So I'm gonna recut because I've kind of messed this one up now. You gotta get it right or it doesn't really lay nice. And you can kind of force it, but it's just gonna be like what I'm doing right now, all crinkly. And you don't want it all crinkly. So I'm gonna recut it again. Let me get my score tool, and then I will do it again. Okay, because it should look like that. But this is still a bit off here. That's interesting, because it shouldn't be. What I'm gonna do because of that, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna score that there. See if that makes the difference. Because I don't know that it would. Oh, there we go. That is the difference. Something's amiss. I'm not sure what it is, but something is slightly amiss. We're gonna do it again. Let me grab another sheet of Petal Pink. And we'll try it one more time. So we're gonna go, this is 6 1/4 right here. Maybe it's because I had it crooked in there. And 9 3/8. 9 3/8. 1, 2, 3/8. All right, and then we're going to find the 3 3/8 line. So 1, 2, 3, 3 3/8. And we're going to start at, make sure it's in there, not crooked this time. Start at your 1 inch mark, and we're going to cut all the way to 7 1/4. Okay, and then this time what we're going to do is we're going to start here. We're going to go across and see what happens. I might even just leave that fold. We're going to do the 4 3/4 one on the fat side. So 4 3/4, because I know that measurement is correct. Okay, so find your cut line. And then we're going to start on one side and go 1 inch. Okay. Going to where you got the score line, and 1 inch and 2 inches. And 3 1/2 inches. And then the next one is the one that's the kicker for me. So I'm gonna pause on that one. We're gonna skip the number 5 for now, because I'm thinking I might just score it across and see if that makes it better. But we're gonna do the ending one, which is 7 1/4. Okay. And now this being 4 3/4, it should be, you would think that would be where I would need this fold to be, but before when I did it, it did not really work. So we're gonna go mountain and valley. We're gonna fold that one there. Mountain, valley, mountain, and this one. So I need one more mountain fold. And right now I'm kind of looking to see where am I going to want that. Maybe it will be fine to do it there. We're going to try it right where this one is. I think it was just off a little bit. This time, let's check this. Like this, and this, and this. No, I can do that, but I just needed this one to be off a bit. I ended up doing it, instead of at 4 3/4, I did it at 5. I'm going to change that one, and we're going to go 5 on this big one. And then we're going to stick with the 5 on this one too. Let's see what happens. Okay, let us see what happens. That and like that. There we go. It still is coming out just off a tiny bit, like that time it came off like an 1/8. But that's partly why I didn't get too carried away with scoring. So if you have accidents like that, now you see, I can make this work by just smoothing it out. It actually does smooth out really well if you want to. If you have problems with your fun folds, don't abandon. And if you have your cut and emboss, just flatten it all out and run it through your cut and emboss machine, and it will actually push all of these little folds, all of them out, and then you can keep the one you want. So my number is off just a tiny bit. Let me give you the correct one now, because now at least I know what it is. All right. So it is 1/8 more. So for that one, instead of 4 3/4, it needs to be 4 7/8. Okay, and I'm gonna go like this and make sure that's correct. No, that is 4 3/4. How did that not work? Because I had it there. All right, so 4 3/4, I was correct. Apparently I can't measure and I can't score, but I did it. Now, because I still have my little marks showing here, I'm gonna just flip this whole deal and go the other way. So I have a cleaner side to work with. Oh, wait, I've marked that. No, that one's not marked. Okay, so that's the beauty of a fun fold too. If one side doesn't really work the way you want it so much, you can always just flip it around and get it the way you want it. Use that bone folder to get everything nice and flat. Phew. All right, that was a lot more work than I expected it to be, but there we go. Now I have another template to play with. All right, so now what we're going to do is take all of the little doodads that I've got and apply these on here. And if you have cardstock, this is a good time to start doing all of that stuff too. I'm going to try to move you up just a bit more so you see my whole board. All right, so again, I just stamped with Tuxedo Black on white, and I used this fill stamp to do Petal Pink, and then I did Calypso Coral, but with stamped off 2 times for this color, and then stamped off 1 time for just a little bit more color, and then for the circle, or no, for these parts, I just inked up Calypso Coral on this part and this part, and then just the outer edge for these. Or maybe I used the little dots and just did it a couple of times. Anyway, and then I used my circle with Lemon Lolly for the center. These are wonderful pine. Peaceful Pine ink stamped off 2 times, and then I just filled that in. Now when you cut these flowers, it does cut the leaves off. I don't know why they did that, because it actually eats into the leaf, and you have to make sure you get it back in exactly where it is. I do not know anything about any of that, but now I have to kind of look and see where do these leaves go, because they kind of go like here, because I can see the outline just a tiny bit. And then this one goes over on this side somewhere, and then this one is right here. Part of it's there and part of it's there, so I can still kind of see it. If you wanted to put this on you know, darker or lighter, you could do so. If I use if I want my label here, I would use a white background, but I'm going to be putting the label over on this side. So I'm going to just, and I'm not, do I want to use, glue. I think I'm going to just glue this on. I don't remember, did I did use dimensionals on these guys. So it does kind of come out a little bit. And I used those dimensionals so I could slide this over like this. And that actually looked really good too. But it ended up all being a bit too fussy for me. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just do the dimensionals on this. I think it'll be quicker and easier for me since I had to double up my time in making the fun fold. Anyway, so now that I've gotten the complicated part done and my brain isn't like wondering what's your problem, I can tell you about that hot foil. The hot foil system, I pulled it out of the box. I am no genius, as you just figured out watching me. And I just pulled it out of the box, looked at the video, read the instructions. You do want to follow the written instructions exactly. And the video, though, is very necessary to watch. Do the video because the video demonstrates beautifully how slow you have to roll it through the cut and emboss machine. It's really important to roll it very slowly so that it fits, and I would never have gone that slow if I hadn't watched the video. So do watch the video for the information it gives you, but note that I would follow the written instructions perfectly other than that because it seemingly is identical, but it might just be me, but it looked to me like they were leaving the dies and the foil and the cardstock on the machine a long time before rolling it through, and I think people are having some trouble with over foiling. It foils areas you don't want when you do that. So you do want to make sure that it's not over foiling. All right, let's stick you up here. I hope my leaves are in the right place. I'm not 100% sure they are. I think they are. Okay, now where are the minis? Because these little leaves are definitely going to need the minis. And you can see the embossing, it cuts right through. So you do have to be careful. Don't get too carried away or you're going to accidentally tear your little leaves here. Anyway, so I did all of my foiled cards with one go. I didn't have any waste at all because the instructions that are with it are so good that it's just a super easy system. And I've been waiting to do foiling for so long because I'm tired of spending a lot of money for products already foiled for me. And now I can foil all kinds of things. And I actually was tempted to do foiling behind this image today, just so you could see how easy it was. But because it was a complicated fold, I knew I might have some trouble, and I'd better just stick with the fold. And I'm so glad I did, since I was struggling there. Okay, now how does this go? I keep forgetting where it goes. Does it go here? Yeah, that one goes there. If this leaf wasn't cut off here, I wouldn't be struggling with this part. I still am not sure of the purpose for that, but I'm sure there must have been some reason someone thought it was a brilliant idea. I guess one reason would be then you could have the flowers flat or vice versa, and have the leaves, more prominent with the dimensionals. Either way would work, but we're gonna go ahead and try to get it back in place where it goes, right there. And these right here. So the dies come with the hot foil dies and the cutting dies. And I wasn't really sure that I would be able to tell which was which, but it's actually really easy to do. So you will easily see which ones are foil ones and which ones are cut ones. Just look at that and know that really well, so you feel confident in that. And that was really my only concern, and the fact that I thought it might overfoil, and it didn't. It was just perfect. And then there are 3 rolls of foil that you get. And I'm going to just show you really quick since I've got it right here. So I was going to use the Flourish and Frames hot foil dies for this piece right here. Let me pull this down so you can see the piece that comes with this set. Okay, so this die that comes with Fragrant Layers is this one, and this is the piece that cuts out. It's a little bit shorter. It's about the same width though. So it actually wouldn't have been too bad to use, but I just decided, we're gonna go ahead and not worry about it. The same with this one, it's shorter. Okay, but the thing is that it goes in the middle of this middle one really well. There are all these little doodads so that you can get all kinds of designs on your labels. It's beautiful. These are all the foiling dies, and then these are the cut dies. And I didn't have any trouble with them. Now I did the lines and I did the corners, but I did not I might have even used those little parenthesis ones on the bottoms of one. I haven't used this. I think those will be easy to do. The only thing I found that was, do I have my cards down here? What did I do with them? I know they're here somewhere. Let me find them really quick if I can, so you can see what I did. Oh, where did I put them? Like, seriously, you always put things away, and then you can never find them. I have no idea where I put them. I know they're here somewhere, so as my brain is churning, I might find them. But so strange. I only have a few places I could have put them in there. So anyway, it's what you want to do when you get your platform out, for sure. I'll show it to you. So when you order your foils, you get 2 rolls in each box, and that's a lot of foil. You are not going to use up all this foil. It's wonderful. They give you plenty, which is really good news. I'm going to be doing a bunch of foiling, I know. You get the tool, okay? I am saving the little scraps of foil in an envelope because I know I'm going to be needing to use them separately. Let me take my scissors and put this away. All right, so what you want to do when you're going to foil, especially if you're using those labels, plug in your machine. I'm not doing it because I'm just not doing it right now. You can watch a whole lot of people demonstrating this right now, and I don't want to take a long time. This is to lay your dies on after you're done so you can cool them off. You want to use this platform. One thing I would suggest when you're putting your piece in here, here's the cord. It actually plugs in really easy. It's a magnetic one. It plugs and unplugs really easy, but because there's some jerk to it, position this so your table is here where my hand is, so you can easily reach and grab and grasp without jiggling your platform around. And once you've tried that, you're going to know what I'm talking about. Once you put your dies on this thing, you do not want to be jiggling them around. So that's the cut dies. I don't need those. These are the foiling dies. You plug in the machine. When the lights go the way they need to, you know it's ready to add your dies. Actually, you can just add them anytime. It doesn't really matter. So plug in your machine. When you put your dies in for this set, you are going to want to use these grid lines, because that's going to help you position all these little pieces. So if, like for this line one, if I want to, I can position it here right on the grid line. Same thing with this, I can position it right on the grid line, okay? So you'll want to use those grid lines to help you place your doodads, because there's so many. Like in the corners, it's really easy for you to just use the corner that comes right there, so you can stick it in exactly in the right place. Okay, so once you get all these pieces on here, when it's cool, you can easily work like this. Then you're going to want to heat up the dye. And when the dyes are ready for the foil, you're going to put the foil on. And don't wait around. Get your foil on, your cardstock. You're going to use the spacers that come with it. This goes over the foil. This goes on top. You unplug the machine. You pick this all up and you run it through your machine. It's so easy, super easy. It's going to be easy for you to use. You'll love it. But having said that, the reason I'm not demonstrating it today is because the labels aren't the right size really that I want, but I do think I might use one of the cutting ones, just because that one right there, that is like the perfect size for what I want today. So I am going to pull that one out. We're going to use that just as a cutting die. You can't use cutting dies to foil, so don't try to do that. You have to use Stampin' Up! Products. The warranty is going to be void if you use anything other than Stampin' Up! Products on this, and you're paying enough for this machine that you do not want to ruin that warranty. Okay, so don't use other foils. It might work. I don't even want to know whether it does or not. I assume that there are heat transfer foils that do work, but I don't really need to know about that. And right now I'm using the box it came in to store all my stuff until I've got a better system going. And I can then put my foil in here and my tool and my extra foil. And I'll put oh, don't forget your instructions. I highlighted the parts that I wanted to make sure because I'm still following my instructions. Exactly. I haven't done it often enough yet to feel confident that I don't need to look at that. All right, so now let's continue on with this project. This is what I was going to use. This one, or where's the other one? There's another one that I liked even more. That would have been a really nice background for the back of that flower. It's this textured one, and then there's this one too. Anyway, they're all fabulous. You're gonna love using these. Definitely worth the investment. It is an investment, but it's definitely gonna be worth it. So I'm gonna use that to cut out a couple of white labels, and I'm gonna just do that really quickly here, and then you'll at least get to see what those are like. Do I want them in white? I'm not sure that I do. I think I might want those in petal pink. So let me grab out my flubbed. I'll just use my flubbed piece, and we'll cut out those. I'm going to cut 3 of those out. So it's like a medium label. We actually have quite a few labels right now that would work that I was planning on using, but I might as well use this. Like I think one of my favorites right now is the textured notes ones. They're so pretty. But there's one. I might do a textured note one. Let's see. I'm not sure what I need. Okay, there's the other one. And then I'm going to put this die away before I lose it. I don't want it getting out of the package that if I lost a die already, especially with all those little pieces, I've been trying to be really careful because I'm always losing things. So we're going to take one of these and I'm going to stick it on here like this. And then this one can go down here like this, or you could do it on the side, it would also work. Okay, however you want to do it. I might do a different one, in fact. And then we're going to put a label here. And then I'm going to figure out where I want these. Now for now, I cut this out of the from the die that comes in here, that this comes with. That's what this one is. There are all these little centers. They're really cute. I use those a lot. I would recommend those. But right now I'm going to just glue this on here. First I need to do the sentiment though. Because I don't want to smudge my foil. So let's stamp a nice sentiment. What have we got? We have got in this set, we've got So Happy for You. I think that will fit in there really nicely. Oh, It's Your Day. I use that one all the time. It's a great birthday sentiment. It's Your Day. It's a really good one. What do I have in Thankful Garden? Oh, You Make a Difference. That one's nice too. But we'll just go ahead with It's Your Day. It's a really happy font. It should fit in there pretty good. Actually, it's a little snug. I might use the other one. I think it's going to fit better. From Thankful Garden. You Make a Difference. Oh, yeah. That one is going to fit really well. And we're going to do that with Calypso Coral. I think that'll work well. Let's see, my Calypso Coral is kind of strong because I've inked it up so thoroughly, so hopefully it won't be too much. I might do a sample on some white really quick first, just to make sure that it's not too. Actually, that's really good, so we're gonna do that. Let me get the positioning that I need here, right there, right there. Okay, and I need to clean that off. It's kind of a big mess. That is really weird about my foil cards. Where in the world did I put those? Who knows? Okay, another thing that is, you can get all of the pieces to the hot foil things separate. They are selling them separate, but just get the system. You're going to end up spending the same amount anyway, because you need the shims, you need the pickup tool, and the thing that you get with the system is the class. So it comes free with the system when you buy it as a system, not just individual parts. You will need to buy your foil and your dies separate. That does not come with the machine, but you don't need to buy the class separate, because the class actually comes separate too, but you do not need to buy that, so don't. And then they will send you an invite to the Facebook page that the class is going to be on. Might even be there now, since the machine is for sale. It's probably there now. I don't know. I haven't looked yet. But anyway, that class is going to be really useful to you. All right, so I'm going to just glue this down right here on my cardstock so that my words are fairly straight in the middle. Okay. And then I'll just use, once that's dry, I'll use my scissors to clip around the edge of that. Right now I need to get a little glue off my fingers. That glue gets on that foil and just mars it. You can kind of wipe it away, but it really does mar it, so you don't want to leave that. Let's get some light here. Why are you so dark over in the corner? Okay, now what am I doing? I don't need that. That's my scrap. I don't need this block. And we're going to oh yeah, I need to glue this on here, but I'm kind of at a quandary. What am I going to do? We're going to put the label here, kind of in the middle, and you could use a tie if you want to. I kind of wanted to put my little flowers on here, you know, and you could put another image popping up here, but I thought it would be really nice to have another. I'm going to use this, and we're going to stamp something else so that I have a different, you know, a contrast here. We could use white on Calypso Coral. So let me grab a little scrap of Calypso Coral. I have a scrap of Calypso Coral. Yes, I do. Okay, so we'll get a little scrap of Calypso Coral, and we're going to do a smaller label. And I am going to just use my textured notes. Now, these are probably still available. Another thing you can use that's really nice is the phrases and frames. This would be really pretty too. This little one here. Phrases and frames. Oh, you're so pretty. I really like this. Now, if I do that, that wouldn't be bad. And then I could put it on, almost on that one, huh? This is gonna, if I did it on this and did it bigger, no, I would want it smaller. So I'm gonna cut this from my Petal Pink. I'm gonna find a way to get this scrap used up. You know, if you have, I've heard different things as far as, can I use the Big Shot instead of the Stampin' Emboss machine? And my words are, you probably can't. You won't want to because it'll void your warranty. But I've heard that it's possible that the machine might not fit through it. Now, I used to have a Big Shot, but I don't have that anymore, and so I'm not able to speak to whether it would even work or not. All right, so I'm going to take this bigger die. Let's see if this one will work. It's a little narrow, but it might. I want one just a bit wider. Let's try our Radiating Stitches one. Oh yeah, that will work quite well. And I'm going to cut that from this Calypso Coral. And then we're going to put this on here like this. And then I can stick that there like that. And this, maybe I'll put this one behind. A little taller. This one's going to go in front. And that way you can just kind of stagger these pieces however you want. And then we can put these labels in here however you want as well. Okay, and then the flowers. So we're going to put a flower here. We're going to put a label here. We're going to put maybe another flower there. We put our doodads, and I want one more little sentiment. This says, "You make a difference." So I think what I want to say is something like, thank you. Thank you would fit really nicely with "You make a difference," I think. So let's find a thank you. I have a bunch of those all over the place. It shouldn't be too hard to find. Now, when I did my hot foiling, here's my word. Isn't that gorgeous? Again, one time, this is on Night of Navy, the first time I ever did it, it's perfect. Now, when I use liquid embossing, I've got gold embossing, but it's raised, and over time when people look at my cards or store them and then bring them in and out, that liquid embossing, when you heat emboss, it raises it and it rubs off. Parts of it will flake off after a while. I mean, if you just throw away the card, that doesn't happen. This is not going to flake off. It's on there good, and it also is flat. Okay, so I'm sold. Here's the pink foil. It was so pretty. If it matched my card today, I would use it, but it doesn't quite. Pink foil's a bit pink, not orangey. I am sure they will get more foils, you know, in time. All right, so now what I need is something here that I can actually stamp on. And so I think a little, that same die, I could use it, and I should have just kept it out. I can use the circle one that it comes with, or I could use just the center that it went with, but I think I'll just use the circle. Has that cute little scallop. Oh, it's so cute. Let's do that. I don't know that I've even used this cute little scallop yet. This might be the first time that I have used it. Isn't that pretty? Right there. Very nice. Oh, I'm gonna like this, but I do need just a tiny, tiny little thank you there. Or you could, if you had something else, like even another, you could do those centers from this set and put those in there. That would be really awesome too. All right, so I'm gonna start with this back piece, and we're gonna first of all glue on. This might be ready. Let's get my big scissors and see. I'm going underneath the foil just a little bit to make sure that we're not going to see that white. Okay, pretty easy to do. There we go. So, oop, I missed a little bit of that cardstock. Let me get that out. Right there, because I want that hole to be open so I can use it. There we go. And now we can take our glue and glue this guy down. I told Jeff this might be a 2-hour video, and it's looking like it's kind of long. I never know, but when I have to do the measurements 2 times, yeah, it's probably going to be a bit long. And you know, those fancy folds, they are always a risk. Some of them are easier than others. This one's actually really easy once you know the dimensions. And the funny thing is that the dimensions I had were correct. It's the score, when I was scoring, and I just didn't score them exactly the way my dimensions were written. That's all there is to it. Now I'm going to take just a bit of glue and put on the bottom here. This one's going in the back. So I'm going to move it over to this side. Oh, I forgot. It has to be low enough to not be higher than that fold. So I'm actually going to put a bit more glue on it. Okay, because it does need to be, I want it to be maybe just a little lower than that fold. And then we're going to just position this kind of high in there, because we're going to do this one, maybe it's a little big. I don't know if I want it as tall as that, but I think it's okay. We'll do it. Maybe I should have used the smaller label, but that's okay. I'm not going to. This one though, I'm going to go ahead and glue down, and then we'll find a little thank you stamp and stamp in there. Okay, we could just do the little hello that came with it. Since it's there and handy and little, I am gonna just do that. I think it will be seen right there. Yep, that will fit. So we'll just get our little Calypso coral. You can see I've still got the old ink pad for this, and it's starting to get really worn, like it's old. I love our new ones. It'll be really nice when I can get all the colors, but you know what? Because of the hot foil system, that is not going to happen as quick as I thought it would. I have spent my whole yearly budget, I think, on getting that hot foil system. It's definitely worth it. Now this one, I'm going to tuck this in pretty low. I could go all the way down. In fact, I think I might cut off this edge, and then that way I can get it down as low as I really want it to be. Right there. Okay, so I'm going to glue this one on here as well. Right about there. And then for these, I can just use our dimensionals. I'll put those on the flowers. So cute. Now for this kind of a card, is there any writing sense? Writing surface? Not really. So I actually saved one of these on my cards to write on, but you're gonna want to just slip a piece of paper in there and write. You could write on the inside, but it's gonna be kind of awkward. What I'm gonna stick down here, this I'm gonna just glue right on, but I think Brad's would look really good there. And I do have a lot of embellishments, so for our purpose, I'll go ahead and find a good one. Let's see what we've got. Oh, he's got some cute flowers. They're not the right color, but it's so cute. Lots of gold. Oh, my metal ones. Those are really nice. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Oh, I think we can use that even though it's maybe a bit off color-wise. I think that's the closest I've got. Oh, no, I take it back. All right, so we have the 2025-2027 in color. That is a match for sure. But this also could be, and this is Dear Dots. I don't know if Dear Dots is available. I think we might do Dear Dots. I think that one might be unavailable now. I do not know. Oops, oh, don't do that. Stay put. There you go. Oh, you're so cute. And let's see here. Oh, I do want ones though up here. And I could stamp or write something here. You know what? When I send this card, I'm going to write their name right here. I think that would be really nice. So I'm going to leave that open. And I think I'm going to use, this is Pearls of Beauty. That actually looks like a pretty good match to Calypso Coral, doesn't it? It really does. Let's see. Well, I think this one will fit really well. I tend to really flub these things. They pop out and fly all over the room and lose them. There we go. So cute. And then I can use the bigger ones here. One here. And they're not coming along. There we go. There, one there. One there. One more. No, maybe two more. Since two are together, we're going to get those. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We just need one there and one over here. All right, there we go. Now I have room for someone's name. Isn't that pretty? Get my little spot off. So cute. All right, so that is the fun fold. It is easy. It's easier than I made it look. but you just need to stick with the measurements that I gave you at the very beginning. I'm going to run through them again really quick here with you. All right, so you are going to cut your cardstock 9 3/8 by 6 1/4. You're going to score the fat side at 4 3/4. Oh, before you do that, or then after, it doesn't really matter. You're going to find your 1 inch mark in, what did I say, 3 3/8. Okay, you're going to go in 3 3/8, find that spot, and then from your, on your cutting thing, find the 1 inch up, cut it down to 7 1/4 of an inch. And then you're going to turn it, and on the skinny side, you'll score it 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 1/2 inches, 5 inches, and 7 1/4. And then just fold it and make it work. You can see this, it happened to me here too. So somehow this fold, it has to be 4 3/4 because that was my corrected one. And when I just did it here, and again, that was 4 3/4. It is off just a tiny bit on this side, but not much. And you really don't want this to be lower anyway, because the problem is when you close it, if this actually came up against each other the right way, you can see it hanging out on the bottom. So you really want it to be what it is, even though it just seems like it should be less complicated than that. But anyhow, turned out really cute. I'm excited to send that. I do think maybe I could have used, let's stick a couple of these over here like this. I think those will be cute there if I can get it on there without my little spatula. There we go. One there. Isn't that nice? And then their name in like a gel pen. Won't that be pretty? All right. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to get over there to the Stampin' Up! Website and look at all of the hot foil things. Make your plans. Set aside your budget so that you can purchase it because you're going to want it. I know there are people who are complaining that it is costing a lot. But you know what? Again, you've got to think about it as an investment. And it's a whole system. This is not something you're going to just use once in a great while. You are going to use it over and over and over again. We've got dies that have many, many words. They've got 2 die sets that are just words. Simple ones like this. And then these, you know there's going to be more. And at Christmas time, when you see what they come up with at Christmas time, if you haven't already got it, you're going to be so sorry because it would be such an expense at Christmas time that you won't be able to afford it. Now I'm going to try flipping my camera. We are going to see what happens. And I will say goodbye. But I kind of have to do this to see what does this do. Hopefully it didn't totally blow it. But if it did, oh well. Have a wonderful week. I will see you next week. Bye.